All right, welcome in, members of the culture. I am Ra, and you are here. And why are you here? Why are we here? We're here to talk about the one and only Death's Head. That's a cool box, man. That's a scary dude, man, both in figure and here. Cool artwork, scary dude. On the back of the box here, we got some stats. I never seen that before on a box, but I don't know who he's rating up against or why they have him like that. But in any case, definitely a cool box. I give props whenever the boxes look cool because sometimes, I mean, as you know, we're primarily an in-box channel. So the box matters to us more so than it does a lot of other people who open up everything. As you know, we open up some. But definitely, excuse me, got to give them kudos for having a really cool box. And what are we here to talk about again? Death's Head. Now, there is another Death's Head, that's Death's Head 2 that you'll see, who somehow preceded this one, yet has the number 2. And I don't remember the whole story behind that. It doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense, but probably best not to think about it. When we're talking about this guy right here, this Death's Head, this is a pretty awesome figure. I mean, he looks badass right there. He comes with 2 fists and 3 weapons and a shield. He's holding that mace, which I always envision when I think about Death's Head. The first thing I think about is a mace. He's a bounty hunter who started out in the Transformers line and has moved through several franchises, which I thought was really interesting, because usually, you know, one guy, one franchise, but Death's Head can do it. But I guess when you look like Death's Head, you're a bounty hunter, you can do whatever the hell you want. That's your business. So in terms of his hands, anyway, these hands are removable, and you can put those weapons actually in place of the hands. So that gives you some different combinations if you want to have, say, because he has those 2 fists, a fist and a mace, a fist and a missile, a fist and an axe. Whatever it is that you want to do, he can do it. He has good articulation. Now, as you know, we don't really break down articulation a whole lot because we're not as in-depth as other channels. If you're looking for the real technical breakdown of every point of articulation, you can check out 5 Points of Articulation. That's a great channel. Of course, D Hunter's reviews. He is amazing. Please check him out. Kyle Peterson, that's another one of our channels we check out. That's really good. And of course, Bones and the Necro Zoo. Please give those channels some love and check them out. They do a great job in terms of reviewing and breaking down figures on a technical basis. But as it goes to Death's Head, let's get a little bit closer look at this big guy. A lot of times when you're dealing with a figure like this, you tend to wonder, like, how does it feel, right? Death's Head feels, I wouldn't say he's heavy, but he's not light either, right? Sometimes you get these figures and they're so light and you just say, man, what did I just spend my money on? That feels cheap. Death's Head does not feel cheap. He is definitely a bulky body they're using. He's a well-built figure. He comes, as I said, if you're going to get a closer look, he's got this battle damage shield right here. So, you know, he has whooped some ass. That's the axe and the missile I was talking about. It plugs in the back, but it has a handle. So if you wanted to put it in, say, the gripping hand here, you could definitely do that. That's something that you could do. This is kind of how I always envisioned Death's Head. So for us, he works well like that. His articulation, is good. I think he can give you that size 15 wide boot right upside your noggin there. His foot does go all the way back here. This is one of those hard plastic capes. Now, of course, we nowadays have fallen in love with soft, good wire capes, but this cape works. I don't know why, but for some reason with Death's Head, this cape, this hard battle damage cape right here, works because it looks like he's been in some battles. Obviously, when you're a bounty hunter, you know, he's seen some things. He has good articulation especially up at the top of the head. He can look up a pretty good deal. Down as well. I mean, he is rumored to be around 6. Well, I think it's at 6'7", yeah, or 6'6" and a half, right? So he's a big dude, right? But he has a little bit of tilt. There's not a lot, but he can definitely look around, you know, to see who I came here to arrest or kill. I said that because I do not believe Death's Head is the type of a guy that you are going to. He's much, if you're thinking of dead or alive, he's kind of the dead type. He doesn't care. He gets paid either way. So he's not the kind of guy that's going to be trying to handcuff you and bring you in. You want to go dead? No problem with Death's Head. That's your business, right? So he has a little bit of ab crunch, not a tremendous amount right here, but some, right? But he's going to be more of those guys. One of the things I think he displays better, you can get him into some good poses, to be honest with you. as I said, not the most articulated, but you can get him into some good poses. Scales pretty well with most of the figures that you're going to encounter. This right here, I do want to touch up on that. He does have bicep swivel right here at his arm, so it does do that. When you're moving this around and rotating, you would think that this would get in the way. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's soft plastic, so it will move. It's not so rigid that it becomes a problem. It will bunch up sometimes when you're bringing the arms together. Good rotation on the waist, though. Look at that. That is amazing, right? But anyway, back to this. It does. It will bunch up sometimes if you use your hands too many times, but that is okay. I mean, not your hands, but if you bring this together too many times, this tends to bunch up. But as long as you're careful, it moves. It's flexible, right? So that's just something to be aware of. It's not a huge problem, but it is something that when you're moving, it's not in the way, but it can kind of sway side to side if you're not too careful. So it's just something to be aware of. Not a problem. Just may not bother you at all. As long as you're aware, you can typically make the adjustment and it shouldn't be a problem for you. Now, we're going to talk about the review like we do with everything else. You guys know that our review system is based off of a total of 100 points, and you have 4 possible categories with which to score that. Those categories are cool, meaning is it cool to you? Connect. It's not about looks yet. Price. Is it worth your scratch? And last but not least, display. How do I look, especially next to everybody else? So we're going to start off with cool. As we know, cool is subjective, but since it's our review and you're welcome to do your own, please put that in the comments. Thank you all for tuning into our review, but since you're here, we're just going to tell you what we thought about Death's Head. So in terms of cool, is it cool to us? Since it's you, we're talking about ourselves here. And Death's Head, yeah, he's pretty cool. He really, really is. He's different. He's kind of a unique character in terms of lore. Like I said earlier, jumping around between franchises. He's a different type of a cat, right? But cool. He's got that, I don't know, what do they call it? That it factor. When you look at Death's Head, he has it, right? Whatever that certain something is, he's got it. So for cool, we gave him a total of 25 points. Top of the line right there. Connect. It's not about looks, right? All right, because look at this. It's not about looks. He ain't here for a beauty contest. He's here as a bounty hunter. His job ain't to win a pageant. His job is to whoop your ass and bring you in so he can get his money. Dead or alive, and we already talked about that. He seems to be more of the dead type. In any case, when it comes to Connect, based off the lore and everything, he did score 20 points. Next up, Price. Okay, so, we're not going to get off on a rant about tariffs and all of that, but the folks there's some things going on in the toy community that we know that may affect us price-wise. Things may go up a little bit more. Todd McFarlane, unfortunately, losing the DC license. There's a lot of things, so secondhand market's going to be crazy, but we won't get off on that tangent. But when we're talking about price, right? And is it worth your money? As the time of this recording, eggs are still about $10 a carton. So I'm thinking about stealing the chicken. But in any case, if you're trying to get a figure for price, you're trying to get the best bang for your buck. Death's Head was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive when he launched at about $50, kind of high. I think he's right now at about the price range he probably should have launched at. Nothing personal, okay, in case you're listening, Death's Head fans. I'm not trying to upset the community. I just feel like he's a $30 figure. That's currently where he is at Amazon. He's out in the secondhand market a little higher and then other retailers, but $30 is where we saw him on Amazon as of the time of this recording. So for $30, he's absolutely worth that. Scores 25 points. Last but not least is display. Death's Head displays really, really well next to pretty much any of the figures that you could put him next to, not just because of his height, obviously, but because of his girth. He's a big, beefy character. He goes well to me. He scales well with Marvel Legends, particularly. You could put him in there with those. You could put him in a case by himself. And just like you see him right now, he's going to look bad. Look badass regardless. So I think he's a really, really cool figure, hands down. He just has a unique look among, I guess we're going to call him a Marvel legend, right? I mean, the box says he is, even though I said Transformers and everywhere else. But not to get off topic. He is a really cool looking figure, and so he will display well. With display, he gets 25 points. So that gives him a total score of 95 points. 95 out of 100. That makes him the highest figure we've rated so far. But we do have other reviews coming, right? So congratulations, Death's Head. And for the Death's Head community, you're probably ecstatic. You're like, hey, our guy got 95 out of 100. He did. Driven mostly by price and cool factor. But regardless, congratulations. 95 points out of a possible 100, which, I mean, that makes it plain and simple. You should absolutely go out and get Death's Head right now. As soon as you finish watching this review, as soon as you finish liking this video, sharing and subscribing, then go out and purchase your own Death's Head. All right, folks? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We do have coming up next, we got Black Adam coming in. We've got two of them actually coming in, Endless Winter and Page Punchers. And I think I'm a McFarlane one too, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got some coming in, and I know you guys, if you've been following in TikTok, and if you're not, why aren't you following TikTok and Instagram at The Great Ra? Cheap plug. But if you're not doing that, please make sure you're doing it. And if you were, you would know that coming up down the pike, we're going to be talking about The Last Ronin, because you guys know we are turtle heads over here. So we've got some Last Ronin action coming up. Some of the coolest figures, I think, ever. So, you know, call that foreshadowing. But definitely can't wait to talk to you guys about that. But anyway, Death's Head scores pretty well for us. What do you think? Is Death's Head a pickup for you? Is that somebody you say, man, he's cool? Or is this somebody you're like, I'll pass? Let us know in the comments, folks. This is an interactive channel. This is your time to shine. Until next time. Please, please, please like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. So I am Ra, and until next time, folks, please keep collecting, stay tuned, and above all, stay great. We'll catch y'all on the next one.